let's talk about Jenkins. So what is Jenkins? So why it is required? So we already discussed the BLD is something that is very important in Agile, and uh, how it is connected with Jenkins, or why do you want this tool? So I will come to that. So basically, what is Jenkins? Jenkins is an orchestration tool which connects different technologies or different tools in a single platform. So why it is used? This tool is used to handle the continuous delivery pipelines of every project. So every organization will be having their own CI/CD tool. So typically, Jenkins is one of the popular tool. So we have other options like GitLab is another option. So Bamboo is another option. So these are some of the tools available. So what exactly we can perform with this tool? So there are a lot of tools. If you look at any project, you'll be using different kinds of tools for various purposes. For code and commit, there will be a lot of tools used, whether it can be Visual Studio, Eclipse, IntelliJ, whatever. So there will be build and configuration tools. There will be scanning and monitoring tools. So sometimes there will be tools for monitoring the status of different servers or different services that is running in your application or running in your project. So there will be release management tools, or for managing releases, there are different tools used. So there are tools for the deployment, or to get the release done, there are different tools. So these tools can be integrated in a single platform. So let me tell you one simple example. Okay, so most of the tech giants like Amazon, Google, or Facebook, you can see they continuously make changes to their application, and you can see if you're using a smartphone, you can see most of the apps. You'll get notifications. Okay, there is an update. Okay, so it is getting updated continuously, or these tech giants are continuously making changes to their applications. So they're releasing their changes or they're reaching their functionalities. So how is it made possible? Of course it can be made possible, but how can we maintain that quality? So in order to maintain quality, so you have to integrate several tools and check that whether the end outcome or the end product is having quality or not. So this is taken care by CE/CD tools. Okay, so let's have a quick demo. So let's think from automation perspective. So we talked about a lot of tools. So as an automation engineer, you don't need to understand, or you don't need to get expertise on these tools. But what you need to understand is how automation is connected with Jenkins. So let's say you're having so let's take a very simple example. Imagine you are having your project team is building a web application, and the developers are making the changes, or the developers have created some functionalities, and they are going to push their code from the development environment to testing environment to perform testing. Okay, so here if you are having automation, okay, you can say, hey Jenkins, run the smoke suit and check whether the quality is good or not. So Jenkins, what it does, whenever the developer push their changes from the development environment to testing, the smoke test will be triggered. So the smoke test will run, and what will be the result? If the result is pass, okay, it will continue to deploy the code. If it is failure, what happens? It will stop the deployment and will say, okay, this it will so it will send the information to the developers saying, okay, this code has got serious problems, you have to fix it. So developers will continuously make changes like this. Let's say if you're having a regression suite, and the code is available in QA environment, you can tell Jenkins to run the regression suite maybe in a frequent manner or in a nightly basis, and you can intimate the entire team, okay, whether the test scripts or the functionalities are good or not. So this will help to give a real-time feedback about the quality of your application. So that is exactly what Jenkins does in from a testing perspective or from an automation perspective. So now let's see. So I have started Jenkins in my Jenkins instance in my local machine. So of course, in a typical enterprise environment, you will be having that in a server. But for now, have started the instance in my local machine for the demonstration, and we have created a project, the same BDD-project we have created here. So let's look and see what exactly we have configured here. So, so once you open the project, you can find a configure option at the in the left pane. So once you click on that, you can see, okay, you can see, yeah, so you can see the details, what exactly is configured here. So let us look into that one by one. So there is a general option where you can give the basic details about the project. So and there are a few other options. Okay, so the next option is source code management. So this is extremely important. So source code management, as we talked earlier, so our code is there in the GitHub. Okay, so whatever job that Jenkins is going to perform, that will be typically happening by connecting to the GitHub. Okay, so we have to give the GitHub URL and the credentials which we need to connect to the GitHub. Okay, so and also so we have given the repository URL and the credentials here, and also the branch which we need to trigger, so which we need to use. So now next thing is build triggers. So right now we have created a project inside Jenkins. So we have to tell Jenkins, okay, when this project needs to be triggered. So that is called as a build trigger. So there are different options by which we can trigger the execution from Jenkins. So you can see you can trigger it remotely from scripts. If you are using any scripts, you can trigger it remotely using that. And also you have the options to periodically run that. So what is a periodic run? So say for example, if you want to run your scripts on a nightly basis, or in every Wednesday, if you have run the regression, you can click on that build periodic periodically option. Okay, so there is another option for poll SCM. So this it will poll source control management system. Like here we are using GitHub, so it will continuously check the GitHub and will check whether there is any changes happening to the repository. If it identifies a change has happened, it will trigger the script based on that. So these are some of the different ways by which you can handle triggers from Jenkins. And similarly, we have built environments. If we have any environments, we can specify here. Now there is a build option. So basically, we are using a Maven project. So we have added a build command here. So here, clean install is a Maven command which is required to do the execution or to perform the execution. So that you can update it here. Now, so this is basically a part of Maven goals. This is available as a plugin. Now, we have post-build actions. Post-build actions means what you want to perform once the build operation is completed. Say, for example, as we are dealing with the automation framework, once the automation run is completed, we'll get the report. The report will be generated in a particular folder. So we can say Jenkins to copy the folder to some location to archive that and keep it for later reference. So these are the some of the options which you can do. Okay, so you can also add the generated report folder to archive to some location, or you can add, if you are using JUnit, you can export the JUnit result. You can configure it here. So there are plugins available for integrating TestNG. Another thing is email notification. So let's say if once the Jenkins run is completed, if you want to intimate the entire team about the status of this, the quality run or this execution, you can configure the email here. So you can say, okay, if the test script failed, you can intimate the team saying that, okay, so the build has got some problem and these are the reports. So these kind of email notifications can be configured from Jenkins. Okay, so let's go back to the project view, and let's trigger the project. So the Jenkins project which we have created. So typically, so once you open the project, in the left pane you can see an option to build now. So once you click on that, you can see here the build has started. Okay, so it is progressing. On the left side, we can see a console output where so you can see the sequence of events that are happening. Okay, so first of all, it will try to connect to the GitHub, and it will check out the code into the machine where the execution happens. So it will compile. It is the same code that you have previously executed. It will connect to the GitHub repository. So here you can see the Maven command that we are using, clean install. So it will, if the dependencies are not available, it will download the dependencies from Maven in order to build the project. So basically, Jenkins support a lot of tools. There are a lot of plugins available in the Jenkins marketplace. Okay, here you can see the regression tag. Okay, so it is executing the same regression scenarios which we have executed previously. So as I said earlier, there are a lot of the plugins which we can try to integrate with Jenkins. So you can go for headless mode of execution if you want. You can configure that in the Jenkins. So right now you can see the UI. If you're going with headless mode, you'll not see the Chrome opening. So once the execution is completed, what it does, it will. So we have configured to copy the report. Okay, we have configured to copy the HTML report and keep it for reference. So what you have done, once the execution is completed, we'll go back and check whether the report has copied or not. At any point of time, say for example, if the execution is already completed, if you want to look later, okay, you can go and check the build number, and you can navigate to the results. So you can find the reports from there. Okay, now the build is successful. So now let's go back to the project view and see where the report has been generated and how to view that. Okay, let's refresh the URL. Okay, so go back to the project. So here you can see the build number, and in the result section you can see workspace. Okay, click on the workspace. You can see there is the target folder where we have the report. So click on the folder. You can see generated hyphen reports where we have the HTML report. Okay, so this report you can either view it from here, or you can download this as a zip file. Okay, so right now we'll download the file to the local machine. Okay, so the file is getting downloaded, and you can unzip the folder and just open the folder. You can see the HTML file.